This is Momentum with Sidekick, the podcast that explores what's shifting in business and leadership and what it means for you right now.
We're Bonny and Nora, both from Sidekick, where we help leaders turn complexity into clarity and ideas into action.
Let's dive in.
So, what I wanted to talk to you about today is admittedly one of my favorite topics. And I feel like something that most leaders, when you would ask them what they would want to see more of in their teams, is ownership.
Mm-hmm.
People taking ownership, being accountable for their results, really like showing up in the most effective, engaged way, passionate, taking initiative, all the things that are kind of coming with that sentiment of ownership.
Yep.
So we'd love to explore kind of what it is, what it takes to design for it in your team, and maybe even whether you should want it or not.
Yeah. The question or the comment of like, I just need my team to take more ownership, and what that's motivated by and the uncovering all of it. I totally agree. It is a common thing that's brought up. And, when I think of ownership and accountability, sometimes those words are used interchangeably, and I don't think they're synonyms for one another. So would love to unpack that a little bit today, where one, accountability is like more external, structured, managerial, where I feel like ownership is a bit more intrinsic, internal,
right,
unstructured, and voluntary to some extent. So, and maybe you can't have one without the other, but let's see.
Let's see where we get.
Yeah.
I'll admit why it's one of my favorite topics is that I've also experienced it where I thought I wanted more ownership for my team. And then at the same time, felt like it was pretty threatening as well, right?
Right.
The times where someone starts kind of running with an idea and selling it as if it's their own, where you're like, but didn't I come up with that? Didn't I? But then I've learned, but still working on it, to really appreciate that and see it as my biggest accomplishment, really. And that's kind of it. It's become a bit of a running joke that like once people start using your words or your ideas, that's kind of, you made it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's as a leader.
They've adopted it. They believe it.
Yeah, they own it. They've made it their own. And yeah, it has become one of those like telltales or signs that always make me feel really proud. But initially, always gets me to like kind of feels threatening, and then ultimately, those are my proudest moments.
Yeah, well, I laugh because I think of a moment you and I had together where we had been working with a client on their strategic plan, had gone through all the discovery, had led the in-person workshops with their board and all their partners, and got some big breakthroughs, got some good agreements, some good debates, some good discussions in the room that I was like, yes, like wasn't all, everybody agreed and nodded, and that was that. And so when we had, I think this was like our first meeting after with them, when we had sent them, here's the strategic plan.
Yeah.
Take a look, sent a pre-read, come to the meeting and we'll discuss any tweaks and things. And they showed up being like, we've rewritten it. Like, what? Okay, tell me more. But it wasn't that they did rewrite it, but like the contents were all still there, but they just put it in their own words and used language that was more part of their culture or things they would say or would come up. And at the end of it, I was like, okay, the nuts and bolts of it are all the same, but this is amazing that the three folks took the time to like really, and it wasn't completely rewritten, but tweak it. And I was like, they've put it in their words. And, one of my new favorite phrases of there's ownership and authorship truly came to life.
Yeah.
And then a year later, we talked to them and it's on and they've really adopted it. And maybe that's the ownership piece that we're talking about. But I get it when you're like, so we've rewritten it all. And you're like, But yeah, it was a sense of pride because now a year and a half later, like it's fully living and breathing and not what your greatest fear of a strategic plan is. It goes on a shelf and you never look at it again.
Yeah. Yeah. And at Sidekick, it has even become one of our like differentiators, right? Like we claim that that's something that we always strive for is to create that sustainable ownership for our clients so that once we step away, they can still kind of create and drive the momentum forward. So yeah, seems to be quite a bit of energy around it. So in this episode, I would love to explore kind of how leaders can design or create the circumstances that would drive ownership. Maybe explore a little bit about what you said around ownership, responsibility, accountability. Are they the same? Are they different? Do they work together? Do they not? And to what extent does it rely on like a command and control, like a hierarchical force versus can it be created through like trust, clarity, autonomy, and so on.
Yeah. I think that's
Cool.
great. Where should we start?